There we go. We're live. Welcome
What
on.
up? Glad to be here.
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. So, out of everything that you could have done in your lifetime, what made you go with filmmaking and what has made you stick with filmmaking and what's inspired you to keep going with it?
As a kid, I loved movies, and I'm one of those guys that'll watch a movie and I'll bawl my eyes out over it. And I just thought that it's such a powerful medium, dude. It's so cool the things you can feel through watching a movie and hearing sounds. And um, as an adult, we uh we quite often try to find something that is lucrative so that we can pay the bills and have a family. And I saw filmmaking as a great way to make good money and also share my vision. I like to think that um, I'm making a difference in the world with my videos. And, it's video's the easiest way to convince someone of your point of view. And that's kind of why I chose it. I've worked every kind of industry you could think of. I've done construction, I've taken care of old folks, young folks. I've sold things. I worked. I anyone that's streaming this from Price, Utah, probably remembers Tobler from McDonald's. You know, I I've worked in so many different areas, and this is where I've ended up right now. I like business, and I feel like I can help businesses with this a lot.
Oh, and you for sure can. You can get such a wide variety of coverage just through a video or a movie, and you can definitely spread a message of what a company represents. And it's like that conversation that we had a couple weeks ago. Like marketing is a number one way to get a message across, to get your message across, whatever it may be. And that's one thing. Like I've had a lot of different jobs in my short 19 years, but I've construction's definitely the one that I've stuck with and gone back to, and I'm passionate about it, and I know a lot of things like the back of my hand. And so it's like it's just I completely get the, like, I've always been fascinated with construction, so I've stuck with construction, and it's something that I've always loved. And even on those hard days, it's like I'm where 8-year-old me would have wanted to be, playing with a Tonka truck. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
that same concept, and it's cool to see how that ventures into adult life. And
right. It's
so,
interesting how the little toys we played with as a kid turned into bigger toys as we're adults.
oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Like,
The Tonka truck just got bigger.
oh, a lot bigger.
True that.
What is, like, whether it be a person or a song or a feeling, what is your biggest, like, motivation for, like, to keep going with it?
Oh, that's a deep question if we really get down into it. I think the reason I get up every day and still work on it is I know where I want to be in 10, 20 years. Um, I want to be I want to have an effect on this world. I want to shine light into this world. It's quite often a dark place for many people, and I want to brighten that up for others. And video does that if you do it right. You know, you watch a movie, and sometimes the movie will make you want to go out and punch a person in the face, or maybe they'll make you want to go out and help your neighbor. And I want to make sure that I'm having people feel motivated to go help out a neighbor and not punch someone in the face.
Sometimes both is necessary. There's a lot of things
True.
that it's like you have to find a good balance, a good balance of, like, it's like when you think about it in like a full spectrum, like you have to have a good balance of Like, especially as a man, you have to have a good balance of protection. You have to have a good balance of making people happy, providing whatever it may be, whatever that balance is for you. You have to find a good balance of it, or you're technically unstable. Like, in my
Yeah.
opinion, anyway, because you can't just go around punching people, obviously, and you can never force you're providing or your hand into someone that doesn't want it. Like, it just
Yeah.
doesn't. You can't help someone that doesn't want it, so you have to find a good balance for sure, and that's like filmmaking definitely helps with that. I feel like, and like especially because you I feel like you as a person have found your balance. Um, like obviously you don't go around
I do.
punching people. You do?
No. I
Oh, I was
I
like,
said thank you.
damn, bro.
Only two people today. Just kidding.
Only two. That's a record for me personally. I just go around punching people all day. Like I just can't stand people, and I just go around punching everyone. You know?
Nice. Whatever works for you, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you have to find that balance, and for me, that's what it is. Just going around punching people.
Nice. I respect what you need.
But what is like a lot of people don't really like have very much drive when it comes to what they want to do. Like as of recently, like starting this podcast, like we said, it's something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know where to start or what to do. And I went to the gym the other day and I was working out. Like I got a really good pump in, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a Best Buy and see what they have, and I'm just gonna send it. And I bought a camcorder and a mic and came home, set everything up, found out what one of my buddies used, like what website they used to stream off of, and they recommended StreamYard, and it makes it easy. Like I just have to have the accounts, and I just hit broadcast to these three accounts, go live, and it's as easy as that. Or I can do a pre-recorded one, it'll upload it to it automatically. Like it's made it easy, and it's something that I like
Sponsored by
doing.
StreamYard. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish be rolling in dough once I actually got views, but
Hey man, keep going.
oh yeah, like already the amount of support that I've gotten has been like way more than I would have even thought.
Hell yeah.
Like just my like the page alone, it's gotten a good amount of likes in the last like 2 days. I think I'm at like 25 likes or something like that.
Nice.
And like it's family and friends, but
That's not
like what was that?
So that's not bad at all.
No, and it's family and friends, and like I have the couple people interacting through like YouTube and Twit, or mostly YouTube, but I've had a couple people on Twitch like throw a like up or a follow. So it's cool to like just off the bat the amount of support that I've gotten, and it's made me more excited to see where this will go, and motivated me a lot more. And I'm kind of like after we talked the other day, like I was like what could go wrong out of everything, like what could go wrong, so I just kind of sent it, and this is where I've ended up at so far. So
Good man. I respect it. We were just me and him were just talking the other day. Man, it was less than a week ago, and he's like, I really want to do some podcasts. I was like, do it. And look at that, he did it. So
yeah,
respect, bro.
I didn't know where to start. Like I was like reading like how to talk to people, how to be like super fluid in conversation, and like it's kind of it's not really something you can learn like just by reading it.
No, you got to practice this one for sure.
Because I'm not a super social person, so it's like when I got like talking to um, Dutch yesterday, that he judges combat sports. Like I was just like I was stuttering, was super nervous, and I watched the podcast over again to look at like where I could improve. And I've noticed a few things, and I've kind of made a correction about it. And so I
Nice.
I've wanted to. I don't know. It's just cool seeing the impact that podcasts can have too. Like
Right. I feel like a lot of my life changes have come through podcasts, listening to other people, listening to teachers, all that kind of good stuff through these audio and video formats can really change your life. Like half the books on my shelf are found from a podcast. They were like recommended, and I'm like, bet, and it's changed my life.
yeah,
Absolutely changed my life.
I used to. Uh, there's a guy that I worked with at Skyline for a little bit. His name's Ryan Stream. He's a good dude. Um, he's had like he's had a pretty rough upbringing, I would say. Just if I remember right, in and out of jail, like, and he before he even released his book, he was writing a book. Before he even released it, like he was reading us like some of the parts of it, and like it was like whoa, like I felt that emotion before, like I felt that I've been in that type of position before, and like so like it encouraged me to buy the book. And when he first released it, I put it off. I was like, oh, I'll buy it later, I'll buy it later. And I still like I bought it today. I like on Amazon. I haven't even gotten it yet, but like I just know I have an idea of what to expect from the book, and I know what it might do for me. And so I'm like super like, oh, I don't even know, because a lot like part of me is like scared to come to terms with some things that I do, and like
Hmm.
some of my natural behaviors. So it's like that's one thing with podcasts that I want to break, is some of those bad habits and natural behaviors that I have.
Right, dude, here's a cool thing, like, I think that's a great thing to do with podcasts. I have a friend, that he owns this international podcast. I found it on Facebook one day. I was just searching up like, I don't know, I just wanted a support group in business, and I was like trying to find like positive mindset or something, and typed in something along that nature, and I found this podcast, and I was with it from literally the beginning. It was crazy that I found it right when it started. And on episode like 44 or 45, I was actually featured on it. And it was just crazy because of the transformations that I'd gone through in those 40 some odd episodes.
Yeah.
I was seen as someone that should be on it. It's and the beautiful thing about it is not only did I learn all those lessons, but the owner of the podcast treated it as such, just like that, where he is interviewing some of the top minds around the world so that he can learn from them. So he's just picking people's brains to learn from it himself, and then he gets to share that with everyone that streams or watches it. So it's podcast is a great way to learn, a great way to teach. And so I'm excited to see where you're at a year from this state, man.
I'm excited because that's one thing that I want to do, is better myself through learning from other people's mistakes and other people's ventures, because like that's one of the most human nature things and human nature ways, is to learn through other people's errors. I feel like, I don't know for sure, but I feel, me personally, I've learned through other people's mistakes and errors more than I've learned through my own. Like
Smart.
yeah, it's saved me quite a bit. There is some things that like I had to go through myself, and I had to discover myself the reason behind it. And we've had that conversation a couple weeks ago, the whole backstory on that. And like that's just one of those things that you have to learn by yourself. And then there's things that you can look at other people and be like, okay, that was dumb, I'm definitely not gonna fucking do that.
Huh. I feel that, dude. Sometimes you need to be in the hot seat, and sometimes you can learn from others sitting in the hot seat.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like a lot of my lessons, I like to just experience life, and so I'm just like, oh, fuck it, let me get in the hot seat. Sorry, Twitch, my bad.
Yeah, I slipped up
Um,
too.
Yeah, I enjoy messing up. I think it's a great way to really solidify a lesson. But if you can learn without that, that's so much better. I don't learn that well that way, so I'm like, let me just go mess it up, and I'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing is too is like you look at a lot of people that are living in complete hell, whether it be addiction. Uh, their addiction's a good one actually because like they'll overdose or whatever it may be, and then they get brought back, and then the next day they're doing the exact same shit. Like they do not learn from whatever it may be, and it's just such a it's a toxic cycle that people don't know how to break. um,
Yeah,
Creatures of habit is probably the best way to go about it.
yeah. It's something that you will keep revolving until you step off that wheel. But that wheel will just continue to burn and burn and burn and burn you until you step off.
One thing
So
that's
that's the good
crazy.
thing, I guess.
Oh yeah, but how many people actually get the courage to step off that wheel and face whatever it may be that they're running from? Because 90% of the time, addiction is running from something or hiding from something or coping with something. And so, however long you're addicted to something, so let's say you're addicted for 5 years, any emotion that you've masked with meth or heroin or cocaine or whatever it may be, whatever that addiction is that you've been masking or whatever emotion you've been masking, all those emotions are going to come back once you get sober.
Yeah,
Like that shit doesn't just go away.
it does not.
And I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people are scared of facing because they know it's a reality. Deep down, they know it's a reality, but they don't know how to break that habit or that fear, and they don't want to face it. And so it turns into a big greed match essentially because they're too selfish and greedy, which is dark to say, but it's the truth of addiction. Is it's selfish. It's very selfish because at the cost of others' feelings or emotions or thoughts about you, you are essentially just kind of putting whatever they need aside so you can feel better about whatever's going on.
Yeah, true that. That's the nature of drugs right there.
To an extent, I feel I like you see it a lot, but like no one actually knows what is happening in those situations unless you've been in those situations.
True. True. It's different for everyone.
Oh, it is.
But I would say most of it is fear, or all of it's fear. There's really only a couple of things in this life, fear, love, and usually you're not loving yourself or others when you're using drugs.
Yeah, not that often you are. So,
Yeah.
but
Stay
you
away
said
from drugs, kids.
you said that the other day, didn't you? The fear and love thing.
Yeah, probably.
It was. I was thinking about that a lot that night, actually, because like you said it, and it's like, what's stopping you? Is it fear? Is it love?
Definitely
And
fear.
I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I was like, son of a bitch. He's right.
Yeah.
It's like, it is just the stupid little what ifs that are stopping me from going after what I want to get. So I definitely thought about that a lot.
Good, man. That's usually you can break it down to am I in fear, or if you got to think about it, you're probably in fear. If you're sitting there thinking about what's going on, there's something along the basis of
Yeah,
fear that's
it's usually not a good sign. It's like um let's say you want to get a job somewhere new. They're paying more money. You got to look at the sacrifice that you might be making starting somewhere new, whether it be how you're treated, whether it be some type of thing that you enjoy about the company that you're at. So you love the company that you're at, but you fear something's not going to work out at the other company, right?
Yeah. And
So
once you get into that mindset, you're just feeling that fire. So I yeah, you can't sit in that mindset or you will just freeze. Our minds are here to protect us, to keep us in our comfort zone, to keep us in fear because, think about this. The Industrial Revolution happened like 100 years ago. All the stuff we do today is so brand new to this human experience that we have. Before that, we were all running around the Badlands trying to make sure that we had enough food for our families and that we didn't die from some crazy virus or our neighbor didn't kill us for our food or
isn't that
pillage
fucking
us.
like insane that that used to be the
Wild.
norm?
Bro,
Like,
and it was the norm for the longest, literally the whole civilization of human beings, pretty much.
oh yeah, and it was kill or be killed. Like it was just such a crazy like medieval dark time. Like it's just insane where how far we've come. Like you can't just go outside and kill your neighbor because he stole your sheep. Like
Right. Yeah, and people get really upset about where this world is at, and I'm like, I get that, but like, this issue right here, 1,000 years ago, would be like heaven on earth to your neighbor, because
yeah.
your neighbor just had his wife stolen by like 20 guys on horses. They killed your son, and they burned down your house.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that was a normal thing.
It got dark. Like especially like like healthcare and doctoring and just that type of thing. Like if you look at some of like the instruments that they used to use, it is insane. It's like why would you let
True,
anyone near you with that shit? Like that's
true,
like it like the bone saws were like legitimate like medieval weapons, and it's just insane how far technology's come and how far we've made it
true.
to.
And it's interesting too, like when you study like medical devices. I don't. I'm sure half the people know what an aqueduct is. It's a system of like moving water. But like back around the time where they were still using aqueducts, like we invented eye surgery, and like you should have seen the tools they used to try to remove cataracts with. Like it's been crazy the evolution
Oh,
we've seen.
and then they don't clean them.
Right.
They probably at most would rinse them with water, and then
And they were made out of like
that's it.
stone half the time, which carries so much bacteria,
Oh,
even if you
it's
clean it.
porous. It's very porous.
Yeah.
You can
It,
never fully get rid of. I mean, you can now, but then their cleanest water was just because they boiled it. Like
right.
that's now you have so many different additives into uh, the water,
Sorry.
and it's crazy.
I'm still fighting a little sickness over here. I don't know what the heck I got, man.
I was sick last week, and I was not happy about it at all. I felt like ass for a couple of days.
Just thank God we don't have like we're not being like thrown onto a cart. Have you ever seen The Holy Grail? The Monty Python The Holy Grail?
I haven't.
It's like this ridiculous movie. And there's like a scene in the beginning of it, and there's a dude wheeling a cart and he's like, "Bring out your dead." Like, and like they're just bringing out their relatives that died overnight onto the cart.
Oh, oh
Yeah,
wow.
like that's a reality, man. Like, so we
Oh
should
yeah, it
all just be
was for
grateful.
sure. It see that's one thing that like I'll be having like the worst day at work. Like it's just dragging on. I don't want to be there. It's hot. I'm sunburnt. I'm dehydrated. I'm hungry. Like everything that could like be going wrong in like someone's modern life is like it like I'm down bad while I'm there type of thing, and then
Yeah,
I'll be sitting there and I'll start thinking about it, and I'm like, I didn't have to bury my kid. I didn't have to I didn't have to fight cancer this morning. I didn't have to wake up in pain. I woke up in a AC'd house. I woke up with food to eat. I went to bed with food to eat. Like I have money in my bank account. Like I have nothing to bitch about. Like what am I bitching for?
Huh. All this opportunity in this new world.
I I I humble myself better than like 90% of people do. Like
Yeah, that's
I'm
something people
so
need to
hard on myself
recognize and
about that
work.
stuff. I am so hard on myself with that type of thing cuz like it could be so much worse for everyone. And there's people that have it way worse than I do. Way worse. People would
True that.
kill to have the type of life that I'm living. Even
Big
though
facts.
even though I'm not where I want to be, I'm thankful for where I'm at.
Good man. That's the way to live. There's there's a it's like what do you want out of life? Um that there's a mindset in there that it can be beneficial to be like, this isn't good enough. If you want more
Yeah.
out of life, but if you want a peaceful life, just surrender a little bit. But if you have big ass inspirations, it's not going to be the easiest route you ever took in life, but it can be a rewarding one if you have fun the whole entire time. Don't ruin yourself over it. Give yourself space.
See, one thing, like, I like chaos to an extent. I like chaos that I can control. If I can't control chaos, I get stressed out and I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this. I like controlled chaos in my bubble. Like this podcast, like finding people to go on. Like so far I'm on a 2-day streak. Like that's I'm proud of that.
I'm
A lot
proud
of
of it,
people
dude.
a lot of people like if you watch a lot of like starting podcasts, they start out like talking to themselves the whole like a month or two in.
Yeah. Who you have a dog?
I do.
Come on, introduce dog.
Nico,
I gotta meet
come here.
this guy.
Come here. Come on. Come on. This is Miko.
Hey, hey there, bud. How old is he?
She is probably going on 5 now. I was her second owner.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Who'd you
she
get her
got
from? Somewhere out here or down south?
down south. She's a really good
Nice.
dog though. She's loyal.
She looks like a sweetheart.
Oh, she is. There, a lot of people are like intimidated by her because she's got like an intimidating bark and look, just because like the pit bull in her, you know. But she is literally
Yeah.
like the biggest sweetheart. Like I'm sure if like the situation was right, she would eat someone's face for sure. But like 90% of the time, she's just mellow. She's calm. She's one of those dogs with anxiety.
Oh, okay. A little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing I've been thinking about lately is like animals and like the different emotions that they go through. I
Oh
was thinking
yeah.
about like how humans love to just like project and personify things, but it's like a real reality in animals is some of these emotions that we have as well.
That's one thing that this dog has made me realize a lot. Is like you can tell when she has anxiety, and you can tell when she's stressed out, and like you see her and it's like, oh, I just feel bad. Like I just want to make it not be there. You know, it's just so crazy to see how like dogs will reflect a lot of the same emotions that humans do.
Right.
Like
It's
she she's biting herself, but she She has like super bad, like, I don't even know if it's abandonment issues, but she's super codependent,
Okay.
and she'll like get to the point where like she will be like shaking if she thinks that I'm like leaving her somewhere.
Oh,
So like it was
the poor
hard to
baby.
yeah, it was hard to move up here, like knowing that she would be like freaking out for a little bit. And like she did. It got to the point where she started to try to like break out of the backyard, and like she's just acting out basically. And then like I moved her up here with me, and I stayed with her throughout the weekend because I wanted to do it on a weekend so she know that I wasn't just like abandoning her up here on her own. Like,
Yeah.
so I brought her up and hung out with her, and like that first day that I went to work, the following Monday, like I went to work and she like you could see like on her face like, oh shit, like she was kind of freaking out because she could tell that I was leaving.
Yeah.
And then I finally like got off work and I came home, and she was like the happiest. Like she could not stop wagging her tail. She was just freaking out, just so happy to see me.
I love it. Animals are too sweet, man.
I don't understand how animals love the way that they do. It just blows my mind.
True. I think I don't know, that could maybe come down to language, because like we utilize language a lot to understand how people feel in this world, which is it's not the greatest way to go about it, because we have body language which doesn't lie very often unless you're like purposely doing it, and just everyone knows about vibes, you can usually sense vibes more than what vibes usually tell more truth than words,
Oh yeah,
and animals don't communicate like that. They communicate through body language,
a lot of
pheromones.
dogs, most dogs actually, like they learn facial expressions.
Okay,
Like
I can see that.
you could yell at a dog while smiling, and they'll sit there and wag their tail.
Huh.
Like you yell at a dog and you look pissed off, like their head is gonna be down, their tail's gonna be in between their legs. Like there's a study that I was reading once. I can't remember. There's this one here. A new study published in the journal Learning and Behavior concluded that dogs have the capability to understand human emotions and facial expressions.
Wow. Finally they open up about it. I feel like there's so much that happens in this world that they just, because there isn't a publicized paper about it, people don't believe it, or they don't give it much energy or thought.
That's the same. That's the same slippery slope we went on last time. I'm.
Yeah, that was a slippery slope for sure.
Oh, dude, I was tripping out about it. I'll sit and think about it still, and I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? And like like it's like I'll look at people like, you guys don't even know. Like you
You don't
don't
even know.
even know. But
Yeah, I'm telling you, every single person that's listening to this right now, you don't even know.
oh, they don't. They don't. There's three people
I'm not gonna
watching,
tell you about it,
and I
but
can't. But you don't even know.
they're
Maybe one day
like,
you
"Well,
will.
tell us." Yeah, no.
Maybe
Um,
one day you'll know. Maybe something will happen in a big historic moment. But until then,
yeah.
we like to keep our lives living.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Wow.
moving on.
Yeah, no shit. So,
Yeah.
out of every video you have recorded and every hour of footage that you've edited and every like what is your favorite piece of work that you have done?
So we're talking about content that I've produced.
Yeah, yeah.
What is my favorite piece? I love I love every single project I work on. I love. That's a
That's
hard
good
one.
though. That's good. That just shows that you
Um,
put your heart and soul into it.
I really do. I think maybe there's this one music video that I did. It's called Blind, and it's for a rapper out in Utah. His name's Izzy Davis, and it's called Blind. And so we casted the artist as a blind rapper and a blind homeless rapper. And so we shot part of it the in the homeless community, and that was really eye opening to me. Because, like, I've hung out with homeless people quite a bit throughout my life, but I don't know. I guess I've I've never really hung out with the homeless community in Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
and I learned so much about it. It was like heartbreaking and eye opening and scary, and like this one dude told me, like, he was like, I could kill you right now for your camera. I was like,
Whoa.
damn.
Whoa. That,
Like, I was and the wildest thing was is like I actually had him help us in the music video, and after I gave him some money for helping us, that's what he told me. And I was like, what is going on here? And like, I don't know, we saw so many drug deals go down within like the hour and a half that I worked at that one location. And at the other location, there was this little girl that came, and she had to have been like 16, and she looked so broken and so beat up, and you just knew nothing good had happened to her. And I had given her just the simplest of thing. I gave her sparklers that were in my car, and to see how much light that gave her life was almost made me cry, man. I was like, this is insane that this is like that this makes you this happy. I just like I wish I could have taken her away and given her a better life because she was being run through the streets, and it's so sad. That's the case for so many women in the homeless community, and there's
oh,
so
for
many
sure.
STDs and nasty. It just everything
It's
is
just a
so
nasty way
rough.
to live life. It's such a dark way too.
Yeah.
Like there was where was I? I went to Seattle and we went to I think it was like around the fish market, like the port around the fish market. We took a ferry, um, and we went and we were just walking up the street, and there were these homeless people, and they took like water bottles out of people's hands because they were so thirsty. Like they were ripping them out of people's hands, and like they would give them the water bottle, and like they would ask for money like right after they stole this water bottle out of someone's hand, and then people would be like, yeah, here you go, like they're intimidated, like they in my mind it was like they felt like they were being mugged.
Right. That's
And
wild.
it's just crazy to think that like if you really like think about one particular homeless person that you've seen, and it's like the darkest like situation, like they look like they are going through hell. It's like, what happened in your life that got you into this position? Like why, what was the first step that you took that put you on a slope that was so beat up and so like just rocky that you ended up where you are right now? How much did you lose? How much did you give up? And then like that's just their life now. Like
Right.
and
It is
like
gnarly.
yeah, and one thing that I like, it's sad to think about, but like where is the point of no return?
Right. Like,
Cuz you
will those people ever return?
yeah, like you see those stories of people that, oh, I was an addict and homeless for 5 years. And it's like you don't ever see this 60-year-old dude that's been sitting on the corner for the last 2 weeks, and he's been there for years, and he's been homeless for let's say 20 years, just bouncing state to state. Like, does does his family know where he's at?
Right.
Does he have any family? Does he have contact with his family? Does he have contact with anyone? Is he completely like, it's just so sad. And it's like, is he past the point of no return if it's to the point where no one wants anything to do with him? Like,
That's
do
the
you?
hard part.
Oh
Like, even
yeah,
if they
I
wanna
couldn't
go get a
imagine.
job, sometimes they can't even because people don't wanna give them a job.
Oh yeah, and I can't even imagine like knowing that you have a family, knowing that your family is happy, and you have no way of getting back to them. You have no way of contacting them. You have no way of getting support from them. That is probably, I feel like, one of the loneliest feelings that anyone could ever
Right.
feel.
Right.
And a
I
lot of
couldn't
people
even
feel it.
imagine.
A lot of people feel it, but I feel like being in a homeless situation, I feel like it would amplify it because that is like the loneliest low possible.
That's why they all do drugs, man. They're so beat up that they just gotta escape because it's a rough reality out there.
Oh yeah, especially like when I was living in Rails Park, like I would get in my car sometimes. Like this was one of those times where I would humble myself. I would get in my car and I would drive through Rose Park, and I'd go drive outside the 7-Elevens and just look at those people and think about what happened in their life that got them to there. And I'd be like, "Okay, I'm not there. I'm in a better position. I need to be thankful for what I have."
True that.
And
True that.
it's a
We have
crazy world.
everything.
It is just an insane world, and I don't know where I would be without half of the stuff that I have a way of getting.
Right. Homeless.
Probably, yeah. Like
It
I've had so many good opportunities, and I've had so many good like people around me and people that push me, and like it's just it's truly beautiful, and I'm more than thankful for it. And so that's why I get so frustrated with myself when I start bitching about like, oh, I'm so mad about today. And it's like, okay, well, you're not that dude that just died from drugs, and you're not that dude that's on drugs and can't get off of drugs, and he's homeless and he can't see his family. He has kids that he can't see, and like it's like, okay, I'm not that dude. So it's like
huh.
I'm thankful for where I'm at.
Facts. Dude, we have all the blessings in the world if we have a house over our head, food in the pantry.
Oh, for sure. And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
True. So I hope today has helped some of you guys see how grateful you can be, and maybe that keeps you going a little bit happier throughout your life.
Stay on the grind too. You can't ever get off the grind. You have to stay on that
Yes,
because
sir.
the world doesn't stop just because you don't want to get out of bed. And that's one
Yep.
thing that I've had to learn, because I wish the world would stop sometimes, because I definitely do not want to get out of bed some days.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle being a business owner and like I, schedule everything. Sometimes I'm like, man,
7 in
I
the
don't have to
morning.
get
Why did I
out of
schedule this?
yeah, right. And like I have the power to like reschedule it and I'm like, don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't do
I just need to train my dog to just drag me out of bed at 5:30
it.
every
Nice.
morning. I need to do that.
Grab the blanket, rip it off.
Now just grab me and rip it off.
Love it.
All right, man. I really appreciate you coming on. That
Yeah,
was,
thanks for having me, bro.
oh, dude, for sure. I hope to have you on again in the future, and I hope we'll have more to talk about, and hopefully I'll be getting some more support by the time you come on next, and
Yes, sir.
I
The
look forward
legend
to
of PP will live on. Wait, how do we say this?
Pippi.
Okay, that's better. The
The
legend
legend
of
of
Pippi
Pippi. Yeah.
will live on. All right, brother. Well, you have a
That's a
fantastic
funny
day.
name though. That So the person that came up with it is Cody Bunderson.
I
Um,
know Cody.
I think he owns the Fierce MMA gym in Price,
Okay, okay, word.
and I came in one day because one of my buddies gave me a nickname, and it was Dobby. This was in like middle school, like seventh, eighth grade maybe, and it was Dobby. And I went in and I told him like, "Hey, bro, I got this new nickname. It's Dobby." And he's like, "Bullshit! You can't give yourself your own nickname." And I was like, "I didn't give myself my own nickname. This is what my friend this is like my friend gave me this nickname." And he's like, "Bullshit." He's like, "You know what? Your nickname's Pippi." And I was like, "Pippi?" I was like, and I was like, "What does that even mean?" And he's like, "It's nothing bad." And I still legitimately have no idea what it means. I don't know where it came.
Interesting.
I don't know why he gave me the nickname, but it's just been Pippi since like middle school. And
Nice.
I'm 19 now, so
It's
it's
been around
crazy.
for a second.
It has. It definitely stuck way harder than I thought it would.
Love it.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Hey, you too, bro.
All
I'll see
right,
you
bro.
around.
I'll see you around. Thank you guys for watching. That was podcast number 2 with Mr.tobbler. Uh, hope you guys liked it. Show your support, follow, like, share, do whatever you got to do. Follow my Facebook page and my Instagram, and or my face, or yeah, I already said Facebook. But at the Legend of Pippi, pretty easy to find. I mean, there's not many people with the tag The Legend of Pippi. You can just look up The Legend of Pippi without the underscores, and you'll still be able to find it. It's a picture of a shredded ginger. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night, and I'll catch you on the next one.